Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about what you wanted me to talk about, which is a Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's big old lie. I guess we can't call her doctor no more. I don't know. We call Dr. Dre doctor, a Dr. Pepper doctor. I guess we can keep calling Dr. Cheyenne a doctor, even though we know it might be more of like a quack doctor. Let me stop clowning. Let me stop clowning. First of all, let me say this. Did she lie? She lied. She lied. I'm sorry, Dr. Cheyenne, you lied. Now, if any of y'all been watching my channel, I think more what I'm interested in is not whether did she lie, it's why did she lie about it. You know, the whys always intrigue me way more than whether something happened, because for your own eyes, it's pretty clear she doesn't have a doctorate degree. Now, here's what I think happened. I don't think she's just like a bold-faced, flat-out liar, like she never went to this university, Argosy University or whatever. I think it's a situation where she did go to doctorate school, but any of you guys know how at the end of any curriculum, there's like a couple of things you may have to do just to dot your I's and cross your T's to make sure that degree is cemented. Maybe it's pay a fee. Maybe it's turn in one little old thing, something you got to do. It's always really, really small, but it's that one little small thing that says, great, once you do that, then your whole degree is solidified. It's conferred upon you, right? And what I believe is that Dr. Bryant, Cheyenne Bryant, what she did was she did 90% or more, I don't know, of what she needed to do to get her doctorate, but she didn't do the rest. And by the time she circled on back to try to clean up the mess, the loose ends, the loose strings, put the bow on, it was too late. That school was out of business. Because I don't believe the story about she can't get no transcripts. She don't want to get them transcripts. What them transcripts going to say is you failed to do step 3, right? It's 3, like I said, it's a step she forgot to do. And now that the school is out of business, it has been deemed not credit worthy. She couldn't just take them credits and go to another school and say, hey, I already did all these things. Will you accept all this work from Argosy University? And Argosy University said, other universities said, no, that school is unaccredited. We're not going to take no coursework from that school. You would have had to gotten your degree while it was accredited, conferred upon you, or you can't transfer them credits. That's just what I believe. That's what I believe. I know I'm reading this article about, it's coming from the Emerald Pages. And the title was Preying on Black Folk, How Dr. Cheyenne Bryant Built an Empire on Missing Credentials, right? It talks about how she has no verifiable doctorate, no license, and fees that reach up into $1,500 a session. That's how much she charges, $1,500 a session. And now that the reality TV personality and life coach faces mounting accusations of predatory practices targeting the Black community. They are really going after this woman. They're calling her a predator. This is very strong language, of predatory practices targeting the Black community. They said for years, the name of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has commanded respect across Black media spaces, from MTV's Teen Mom reunion to The Breakfast Club, to Forbes, to Oprah Daily, the psychology expert and life coach, has presented as credentials authority. A growing number of people, licensed clinicians, academic experts, concerned community members, they're now asking a pointed question: what exactly is she a doctor of? You see, one of the things that happened to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, which I'm starting to get to the why. Why did she lie? First of all, like I said, I believe she knew she didn't have a doctorate degree. And just like she's out here now saying, what difference does it make that I don't have a doctorate degree? because what I do now doesn't even involve, you don't even need a doctorate degree. That's not the point, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. The point isn't that what you're doing doesn't require one. The point is that you walked around saying you had one, and what you knew was that you had not solidified that degree. I don't care how much work you had done towards the degree, you knew you didn't have it. You knew it. She knew it. She knew she didn't have it. But what she said was, what difference does it make? Well, it makes a lot of difference to people who relied upon you to say that you had a doctorate degree. They go on to say that, extensive public records, even her own admission, saying nothing is verifiable. Um, they're saying that she charges clients anywhere up to $1,500 per session. There's no independent record of her doctorate dissertation, no active clinical license in the U.S. state, no paper trail confirming the advanced degree she claims to hold. Critics say this isn't just a simple administrative error, it's a calculated grift that preys on the Black community's trust, right? So often we're trying to get Black people to get therapy. Even on my show, my channel, I'm always saying, get therapy, people. Go get some therapy, right? What does it look like when people finally say, great, I'll listen to you, Deborah. I'll go get some therapy. I found this doctor, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And even when I didn't trust therapy, I don't trust a psychologist, psychiatrist, wherever y'all is going, I finally do trust a person, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, and I find out she's a liar too. You could trigger people. This could be a whole setback, a whole setback. So do I believe she has a doctorate? No. Can I believe that she started the work? Yes. Can I believe she did a lot of the work? Yes. But she didn't do everything it took to get her doctorate degree. And later on, what she said was, what difference does it make? That's deflection. So now that you guys kind of know what I think, I want to get to the part that I actually want to talk about the most, which is the why. I think what we're finding out about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is she's complicated. She's a lot of two things, right? I think that was really what got people really digging on her, because someone had to go back and start doing research on her doctorate. Someone said this woman is walking around saying she's a licensed doctorate in the mental health space, and the type of advice that I hear her giving on social media, on these Club Shay Shay, Breakfast Club, this does not sound professional. This isn't what a licensed professional person would say. But yet, many of you would have to admit two things. In one way, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant would say some very intelligent things, and then next thing you know, she sounded foolish. Like, girl, this don't even sound professional. I think what I often experienced with her was, girl, are you coming on as a licensed therapist? Sometimes you see her style of dress. People said, why do you care? Sometimes you would say, it is conflicting. You're here to give mental health. You're here to have a counseling session with Club Shay Shay, Cam Newton, all these people, but you're sitting here like you about to go to the club. It's conflicting, right? And what makes people start asking questions is when they see one thing and hear something different and it doesn't align, it makes people probe, because they're like, I don't really know a doctor who would be saying these things, doing these things, and behaving this way. One interview I heard with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, she was sitting with Dr. Jamal Bryant, the pastor, telling ladies that if you really want to know if a man is disciplined, get into the bathtub with him naked and see if he can keep his hands off of you. What? That's how you're supposed to teach women how to determine whether a man is disciplined? By you should tempt him and get in the bathroom naked and see if he don't devour you? Girl, that's why people start saying she can't be a doctor. She just can't be a doctor because this stuff sounds crazy. You see, it is the dichotomy, it's the sort of things that don't align with Dr. Bryant, which made me start thinking, what other parts of Dr. Bryant contradict themselves? We've got the doctor degree that's not true. We've got the doctor facing us who's saying she's in the mental health space. But yet when you see her and how she shows up in spaces, you're like, girl, are you here to try to date Cam Newton? Are you here to date Club Shannon Sharp? Because I don't understand why you showing up like this. Lots of people have problems with it. So I started doing a little research on Dr. Bryant. Come to find out Dr. Bryant is from LA just like me. I said, girl, we got something in common. So maybe I'll be able to relate to something about her upbringing in LA. So when I started reading about Dr. Bryant, honestly, y'all, when you look at her resume of things that she's done here in Los Angeles, here in the community, it actually is impressive. When I read about Dr. Bryant, let me find it about her. Hold on a second. Let me Google it. Let me Google her 1 second, because I was so shocked at her credentials, because all I've known her from is on social media. I didn't know her before then. I didn't know what she had done. Like she said, her resume should speak for itself. Why can't I find this? Hold on a second. Okay, what does it say about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? First of all, when you look at some of the honors from California, LA, that has been bestowed upon her, you will see actually a lot of accolades that a lot of you will say, oh, well, that's because she lied about her doctorate degree. No, her lying about her doctorate degree probably did open doors and get her into spaces and rooms that she ordinarily would not have gotten into. She probably would have never even been on she probably would have never even been on that cast, on that Teen Mom reunion, if they didn't believe that she was a licensed medical practice physician or whatever, not physician, clinical, whatever. I don't even know what she's supposed to say she is. So her lie got her into spaces, right? Now, after you get into a space, which is what she wants all of us to concentrate on, right? I'm trying to find, I saw it earlier. And I don't know why I can't now bring it up. Okay, here it is. So like I said, she got into these spaces lying about her degree. I'm pretty sure of that. But once she got into these spaces, your degree alone will not get you the accolades, or her degree, her lie alone would not allow her necessarily to get the results. This is why if you hear her speak, she's like, you need to concentrate on my results. She wants everyone to stop looking at the fact that she lied about her degree. And she says, forget about my degree. One, it's not needed anymore in the space I'm in. I don't need to practice under a license for what I'm doing now. And my work speaks for itself. So she's conflating two things. She's conflating her work with the fact that you lied. And that lie is what probably opened up the doors for you maybe even to do some of the things you did to even get some of those accolades. But you guys know how I try to be a fair person. I don't think that we can underestimate some of her accomplishments. Just to give you a little bit of the results I'm reading about her. She's a proactive community activist. She sits on many community and collegiate boards, such as the Los Angeles Harbor College, University West Los Angeles Law School, and many others. So, sitting there probably is all based on the fact that she lied about her degree. None of these people probably even verified her doctorate degree. She got into these spaces. She'll probably lose all this. Pretty sure she'll be kicked off of all of these boards now. Now, you go down to say Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is the recipient of the first and only NAACP square street dedication in the country. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant received congressional recognition from Congresswoman Janice Hahn as a result of her outstanding contribution toward the welfare of the Angelino community by providing underprivileged families and families with computers and free Wi-Fi. Okay? You guys aren't in California, you are in like Janice Hahn is now a supervisor within LA County. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant received special congressional recognition from Congresswoman Karen Bass. Karen Bass is now the mayor of Los Angeles, has been for a couple of years. Cheyenne Bryant was named Woman of the Year by that time Congresswoman Karen Bass. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant led and mobilized the first Civil Rights Unity March in partnership with LAPD with the support of Chief Michael Moore. This is when he was Chief of Police, Chief Regina Scott, Senator Steve Bradford, Congresswoman Nanette Berrigan, Supervisor Hilda Solis, another supervisor here in the area where we are. What's going on here? What's going on? Okay. Supervisor Hilda Solis dedicated leadership to issues of woman affairs, right? She recognized her. Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas commended a letter of commendation to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant as a result of her dedication to lead the community and bring AIDS health awareness to the Black and LGBTQ community. Mike Gitzman. It goes on and on, you guys. There are a lot of accolades. I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of accolades, and I don't think that these accolades that she has listed are all lies. Now, like I said, did some of these doors get opened to be in these spaces because she led with a fake doctorate degree? Yes. Because there could have been a chance. There could have been a chance she wouldn't have got in those spaces to even be able to do the work that she was able to do and to get the recognition and to get the backing and to get people to get behind her. Because I'm quite sure when she was doing all these things, all of these community events, she wasn't spending her own money. She said during the pandemic, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant provided over $100,000. During COVID, she provided over $100,000 worth of grocery gift cards to underserved college students. I'm sure that wasn't her own money. I'm sure she got companies to donate this money. And I'm sure it was also based off of her credentials. But what she is trying to get everyone to do is say, hey, to hell with the degree. I don't need it. And the degree does not wipe out what I've done. My body of work speaks for itself. You should all forget about it. Well, they're not going to forget about it, unfortunately. They're not going to forget about it. But what I want to know is, Dr. Bryant, I'm telling you, I believe all these awards. I believe all these accommodations. I believe all of them, right? What I want to know is, with all that going on, with all of those accomplishments, why lie? Why stick to the lie? You see, because this is what I want to get to. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is a combination of a lot of things. She's this mental health person, but she dresses sexy at the interviews. She says she does all these great things in the community, but she lied about her credentials. And I said to myself, even the advice people would say about dating and marriage, they say you give all this advice, but you've never been married. I think she's been divorced twice. There's a lot of contradictions There's a lot of contradictions in Dr. Bryant's life. This whole degree thing is not the first contradiction. This is what I always talk about on my channel. You got to look for patterns. When you think you've come across the first contradiction in a person, you got to look deeper. There were signs before. You see what I'm saying? There were signs before that her life can somewhat be a walking contradiction. And I think what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant does, I don't want to diagnose her because I'm not no healthcare professional. That's going to be for the healthcare professionals. I think what Dr. Bryant does is she creates alternative versions of the truth. That's what I believe. I think she spins truth to fit what she believes it needs to say in order for her to be elevated. You see, all of this makes sense to me, right? Because when a lot of people see her show up sexy when she's trying to give mental health advice, a lot of it is not just there to help the person, it's so she can shine. You see, this is where you start getting into it. Are you here to help the patient or are you here to look good? And this is what I think you start seeing the contradiction. Are you here to help Club Shay Shay, Breakfast Club people, Cam Newton really solve their childhood traumas? If so, why do you show up with so much distraction with your boobs out? Are you here to help or are you here to distract, right? The contradiction with a degree. You do a lot of community service. You do a lot for the community, but yet you trick the community to believe that you have a doctorate degree. Are you here to help the community or are you here also harming the community? Another contradiction. And I keep believing that the answer is, I'm here to help you as long as I look good. You see, I'm here to help the community as long as I look good and can get some awards. I'm here to help you with your childhood trauma as long as I can look good and get the spotlight while I'm here, right? Contradictions in life. How do you spin it? I said, what else, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, have you been twisting? Whatever story about your life have you been twisting? And I'm going to go back to what she often talks about, which is her upbringing. All I used to know on the surface of Dr. Bryant was that she kept talking about how she had been in a lot of relationships, been engaged for 10 years, never married the man because she said he couldn't provide for her the way she wanted him to do, that he was a grifter, he was a drifter. And they asked, well, why did you stay with him? Why did you string a man along for 10 years if he was so beneath you, Dr. Bryant, and that you didn't want to marry him? Why? Like I said, contradictions. So you were engaged to a man who you said was a deadbeat. He was unambitious. You are a woman here getting bachelor's and master's and PhD, but you're with a grifter. And so now I'm saying to myself, I don't get it, Dr. Bryant. Then not only did you get with him, you stayed with him for 10 years. Contradictions. It's not adding up, right? You're so desirable. Everybody wants you. You can have any man you want, but yet this is what people are bringing out, but you're not married, right? You have all this dating advice, all this relationship advice, but yet you have no proof. No proof. Once again, you have no proof that you are actually good at doing the things you tell other people to do. Contradictions, right? So then I said, what other story does she talk about? She always talks about how she was a daddy's girl, that her father doted on her. But yet she also tells us she was a teenage pregnant girl at 14. Contradiction, because studies show that when a woman has a strong male father figure in their life, they're less likely to have teenage pregnancy. How did it happen to you, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? Because as I started doing more research and listening, I come to find out that Dr. Bryant rewrote the history of her father in a lot of ways. She likes to tell the story of how she's a daddy's girl and she was close to her father, but that's not really how Dr. Cheyenne Bryant grew up, because Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is a product of two young people who got pregnant at the age of 16 and had her. Her mother and father were kids, children, when they had her. So, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, how could your father dote on you? How could your father really be an active father when he himself was such a young person? How could he do it? Contradiction. Everyone knows that it's very difficult for a 16-year-old to be a very good father. We find out that the man who's her father, he was a drug dealer early on. They never married. She grew up mostly in a single parent household with the mother struggling. Her maternal grandfather or whatever had to step in and help. Her father was absent. Now later on, I believe she rekindled the relationship with her father, and she developed a stronger bond with her father because she wanted maybe him in her life. But that's not the whole story, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. You can't just start at the point where you're a daddy's girl and your daddy doted on you. That's a lie. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Your father was not in your life early on. You became a teenage pregnant person. You grew up poor. Your mother was a single parent, right? You're rewriting the story to say as if most of those things aren't as important. And what you want us to focus on is the fact that your father was a doting father. Well, we just can't concentrate on that part. Just like right here, you want us just to concentrate on the fact of all your accolades and what you've done, but you want us not to look at the lie you told about having a doctorate degree. And what I'm still getting to is why Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? Because what I say about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is, as long as she can look good. She wants to look good. She says she's an overachiever. That's what she's always said. She's an overachiever. So she wants to look good for staying with a man for 10 years as if she were doing him a favor. I stayed with him for 10 years even though I knew he wasn't the man for me and he couldn't provide for me. Then why did you stay? To look good, like you're the person, like you stayed to look good? I don't believe it. You were getting something out of it. You were getting something out of it, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, but you don't want to tell that story. She needs her own therapy. She really does. I know she says she's been to therapy, but I think she needs to go to therapy and probably face some really hard truths about how she responds to trauma in her life. I think she creates narratives in her life, false narratives in her life that don't accurately depict her life. I think she tries to reframe bad parts of her life in good ways and ask you to ignore all the other things. That's what I think. Just like in a lot of ways, I don't want to put down a man that's passed away, her father, but I think she has spent a lot of time trying to paint her father in one light when I believe it was different. I come to find out, here's another part where I think adds to her overachieving, her wanting to be seen and heard. I believe her father wasn't very neglectful of her. That's what I believe. And I believe she spent a great deal of her time trying to win her father's love. Because I read something about her father in that her father eventually got his life together. He got his life together. He became a longshoreman here in Los Angeles, which many of you know, longshoremen make good money. He turned his life around. At some point in time, that man of hers, her father, turned his life around. And guess what he did? He remarried. He remarried when he was around late 20s. He remarried and he went on to marry a woman that he stayed married to for 25 years. And together they went off and they started and had children themselves, right? So you have a man who during his early years was drug dealing, was not present for his children, wasn't around. He gets his life together. He gets a good job. He marries a new woman and they build a new family. How do you feel? I want everybody to think real hard. How do you feel if you were the daughter of his previous life? If you were the daughter when he was the drug dealer, he never married your mother. Your mother struggled. You guys were poor. He gets his life together. He marries a new woman. They build a new family, and he's providing for that family and loving on that family the way you had wished your father loved and cared for you when you were young. You know what you might do? You might spend a lot of time creating narratives, trying to accomplish goals, doing things so you could be seen in the eyes of that new mother, that new family, even your new father. Look, daddy, look at me. I've turned out to be wonderful. Can you love me as much as you love your new kids? Right? I can see a scenario where this gets you into starting to lie about who you really are because you are so hurt over how your life began. You're so intent on turning your life around, and you're trying to prove to the man you put up on a pedestal now and say he's so wonderful. You're trying to prove to him, just like she's now doing to all of us, that I'm bigger than maybe what you think I am. I'm more than that. Look at me. Look how great I am, right? Why does a person lie beyond what they need to tell the truth? Have you ever met a person and you say, girl, your truth was good enough? Truthfully, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, having just a bachelor's degree and doing all the work you did in the community should have been enough. But it wasn't good enough for you to feel that you're important enough and valued enough. You had to keep adding things on top of it. That's what a lot of people do, right? The truth ain't good enough. They got to add lies on top of it. You ever met that type of person and you say, I don't even know why you lied. Why did you lie? You didn't even need to lie. The truth was good enough. It would have been fine. But no, they're not secure. They're actually not secure with their life. They don't feel confident about who they are, what they need to do so they feel even better about who they are and feel like they should be loved. They actually have to lie on top of who they are because they really want to butter it up. They really want to. A guy ever did that to y'all ladies? He ever tried to make himself seem better than what he was, bigger than what he was? And the truth of the matter is, it was good. You a FedEx driver. So what? You go to work every day. You take care of your family. It's good enough. But no, they got to say all these extra things, right? That's Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And the more popular she got, she had to do more extra and extra. The more popular she got, the more outlandish her interviews got, because what she wanted the sound bites. She wanted you to come listen to her. She wanted more attention. So to get more attention, she had to make each interview get more and more outlandish. Her outfits got more and more revealing. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like whatever attention she got, it was never enough. It just reminds me of a childhood wound that when you feel a deficit of love and attention, it becomes insatiable. You need more and more and more and more, because what you're really trying to do is really to heal that child. And that's who Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, to me, she presents about. She was always doing more, always doing extra. She calls herself an overachiever. Why? Why the need to overachieve, the need to lie about a doctorate that, like you yourself said, you didn't even really need to do this type of work? Then why lie? To get more attention, to get more accolades, to get more people to look at her, to get more approval from people, to get more attention so she can feel better about herself, right? This is just a negative cycle over and over and over and over again. And it's really disappointing because, like I said, I believe she did all this in the community. And what's sad about it is that it's going to all get overlooked because it's going to be talking about the fact that she lied. And then not only did she lie when she was confronted on it, she doubled down on it. She doubled down on it. Let's just say she should have just come clean. She should have just come clean. But her pride, her ego, she does not want to be knocked off the pedestal that she has worked so hard to build, even if she built it on a rocky foundation. It's really, really sad to watch. You know, everyone got on her about all her dating advice, of how she was with all of these men, but she never wanted to marry any of them. Well, why not? Maybe deep down, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, you were talking as if you were in control of these relationships, that you didn't want to marry them, but maybe you were afraid. Maybe you were afraid Maybe you were afraid deep down inside that those men would abandon you just like your daddy did, right? That just like maybe as much as you did to get your father's accolades, he might have come around, told you he was proud of you, he loved you. I believe he did. But did you really feel it? Did you really feel it? Or were you constantly trying more and more and more to please him? More and more and more to feel the type of love you wanted to feel. And by achieving more and getting more, that's how you thought you would feel loved. Maybe you never felt loved in any of these relationships with these men you were in, right? And you chalked it up to be about them. It's because I didn't feel loved by them. I didn't want to be with them because of something with them, right? She often says that. The guy I was with for 10 years, I didn't want to be with him because he couldn't provide. Then why did you stay? Why did you stay? Is it really them or is it you? Is it you, right? I don't know. It's sad to watch, y'all. This is why I tell everyone to get therapy. Get therapy because it unlocks things about your life in the past that's still affecting you here in the present. And I believe, unfortunately, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's constant need for attention, accolades, admiration, acceptance pushed her into an area of lying so that she could be put up on a pedestal when the truth of the matter is she didn't even need it. Just like she said, you don't need a doctorate to be a community worker, right? You don't need any of that. A lot of that work she did, she probably could have done on her own. Did it open doors for her? Yeah, I'm sure it did. But some of those doors she probably could have walked in even without a doctorate. But she didn't feel comfortable walking in without a doctorate. She wanted the doctorate. And once she found out that her degree wasn't completely confirmed, she said, so what? I did most of the work. There goes the contradictions. She's full of them. She's full of contradictions. But anyway, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. Talk to y'all later. Bye.